how to stop being a people pleaser. I think I made this video for myself, actually, or I'm making this video for myself. I'm a recovering people pleaser, I'll be honest with you. I have often spent my life putting other people's needs or desires above mine, which is really bizarre because I'm a confident person. Confident because I've built up my own confidence. It wasn't always a natural confidence. Although saying that, when I was younger, when I was a child, I was naturally confident. But the world beats that out of you, right? Oh my gosh. But I definitely became a people pleaser. And a people pleaser is somebody who puts other people's needs above theirs. Is constantly worried about what other people think of them. But again, that's counterintuitive because I'm thinking about it now, and I guess I have to compartmentalize. For me personally, I've always been intentional about my goals and where my life is headed. So I didn't necessarily worry about what people thought of me in terms of, you know, what I'm doing for my life, where I want to go, who I am. But I think I worried about what people think about me in terms of, am I being a good person to them? Am I a good friend? So that's how I've operated. So, but it's still definitely part of that people pleasing puzzle. Bit of a tongue twister. And what that often does is, because I'm so concerned about being this good friend, being liked, right? Being liked, being loved, because of whatever's missing in my own life. I've sometimes put myself second in terms of, you know, what are my needs being met as a friend? Do people care about me as a person? So whilst I'm trying to please them because I want them to be my friend and I want them to like me and I want to be, you know, liked, I'm not necessarily prioritizing my goals. And I think that's something to really consider when you're a people pleaser, or you're a recovering people pleaser like I am. And I'm nearly there, I'm nearly fully recovered. And so I wanted to share some tips on how to stop being a people pleaser. You can still be a good person, you can still be kind. This is not about turning into a meanie, but it is about just showing yourself some care. And the first thing is definitely setting out some boundaries, sort of finding what your boundaries are, and knowing what those boundaries are and living by them. The next thing is not always saying yes, even when you want to say, you want to say no, it's not right for you, but you say yes because you want to make the other people happy. No, like really learn to say no. Let your no be your no, and let your yes, because when you do say yes, it feels good. I know it's hard though. Ooh, I know it's hard sometimes because you always want to say yes to everything and please everything and support people, but yeah, just know when to say yes and know when to say no, and let your no be your no and let your yes be your yes. Really work on your low self-esteem and whatever gaps there are in terms of, and know where that comes from and why you have that low self-esteem. And that might require investing in therapy, getting a coach, really talking it out. I think it's really important. Therapy in particular is really, really important. So yeah, figure out why you require people to like you so much and why you need them to be happy when they're around you. And the next is dealing with that avoidance, because I think sometimes we avoid, because we are avoiding confrontation or negativity from whatever it is, like from your past, from your life. You're avoiding something and dealing with that. Even as I'm saying it, I'm like, oh, we're getting deep now. You're avoiding something. So you choose to people please because you're avoiding something. Learning, my next point and I think this is probably really important. They're all really important, but this one is an important one, is learning to sit with your feelings. A lot of us want, you know, as people pleasers, we want to make people happy because we think that by prioritizing other people's happiness, it is going to create an environment of of happiness and positivity, and we're not. And often what we end up doing is we're draining ourselves, and we are never truly satisfied with ourselves anyway. So despite doing all this good stuff and being this great person and being a people pleaser and making everybody happy and just being wonderful and amazing and adorable and fantastic, you're actually draining yourself. So really learn to sit with your feelings, and sit even with the guilt of when you say no or you feel like you've let people down. Sit with that. Sit with the guilt. Why does it make you feel guilty? What is that? Sit in your silence and sit by yourself and figure out why. And it goes back to maybe investing in therapy and investing in searching for the answer on what your history is. And also just look at your relationships with people honestly, because you've got to be mindful of, you're doing all of this stuff, trying to make other people happy. You're not necessarily making other people, you're making yourself happy, and other people are not making you happy. And what ends up happening is there's a resentment that's building, and you become angry, resentful, expecting people to treat you the way you treat them when they've not necessarily asked for all of this. And so you become frustrated in yourself and in your situation, in your relationships, because you've not been able to be honest about not only your needs, but actually you've not been honest about the fact that you don't have to do any of this. You don't have to overexert yourself. You don't have to do more than is required of you. So really take the time to take stock and again ask yourself all these questions. It's a lot of introspection, but I'm telling you now that if you're able to unpack a lot of this, you can stop these people pleasing tendencies, and you can be more authentic with yourself and who you are and with other people around you, and actually build stronger, more fruitful relationships, more honest relationships, and a more honest relationship with yourself, which I think is the most powerful point, right? Being kinder to yourself. Yeah. Leave some comments below, and thank you so much for watching. I'd love to hear your thoughts as usual. Take care.